Good morning, fans, and welcome to show number 30 of the Midwest Donut Review Show. I'm Dave Leggett in St. Louis, Missouri. That's my son, Eric Leggett, in Sacramento, California. We're going to give you a little mid, a little west. We're back in our familiar spots, and we are ready to review a couple more donut shops and talk about some donuts and all sort of frivolity in the donut world.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I need a win here in Sacramento. I need a donut W. These last few episodes, your donut shop has just been kicking my donut shop's ass. So
it has
Sacramento. We got to step it up this episode. We need a heavy hitter.
So our show number 29 was Off the Beaten Path with our New Orleans review. Don't know what cities we're going to head to next, but we're back home today, as it were. And so as we normally do our show, we try to get the same three donuts, all two different places here in St. Louis and there in Sacramento. We will size them and taste them and price them and let you know any details that you need to know for you to go in these mom and pop shops. Mom and pop shops is really the key to what we do.
No chains.
And so as we normally kick off our shows, Eric, you've had a little bit of time. Is there anything in the donut news of the week?
Yes. I'm glad that you said I had a little bit of time because I definitely totally forgot about it and found this morning. So, for this donut news, we head to my least favorite city on the planet.
New York City.
New York City. This is a Japanese donut shop, has opened its first U.S. location in New York. This place is called I'm Donut? Debuts in Times Square. That is what it's called.
What are you?
It's I'm Donut,
I'm
question
Donut.
mark.
Oh.
It's the existential question a new bakery from Japan poises as it's at its first American location that landed in Times Square this week.
Of course it's in Times Square.
Yes. So, the flavors at I'm Donut aren't quite as out there as the anchovy and olive options abroad. Like in Japan. They got some crazy shit going on over there. So they've decided to tone it back a little for the American audience, I guess.
And sugar it up.
Yes. This I'm Donut includes a trio of Nama, which means fresh, signature flavors, and original chocolate and matcha. Now, I want you to guess how much those range.
The price of those donuts?
Yes, original chocolate and matcha.
I will say in Times Square, $3.39.
No. The original is $4, and then the chocolate and matcha are $5.
Okay, so positioning themselves as a gourmet donut shop.
That's not even the worst of it. There are a few New York City only options like PB&J, caramel espresso cream, and sake cream, and those range from $7 to $11.
Oh, okay. Maybe they're in love with them so much that they price them so as to not sell them and lose them forever.
And they also have savory donuts, but it's just it's just bread, pretty much, because they make it as a sandwich. They have a chicken ginger teriyaki, a New York BLT, and a scrambled egg with honey and tomato mayo. And those are $12, $13, and $9 respectively.
Okay. All right.
So the reason as their name that it's like a question mark is their website notes it's, quote, constantly questioning and, quote, creatively expanding the boundaries of traditional pastry.
Wow. Okay, that's
I
bold.
think that's way too bold for you to offer a PB&J donut. Like, I'm sorry. PB&J is not, like, pressing the boundaries of anything.
No, we've talked about PB&J donuts on multiple occasions on this show. It's and all through the South, all the mom and pops do PB&Js and Elvis peanut butter and bananas, and yeah, it's not groundbreaking in any way, shape, or form.
So yeah, this they've got some vegan donuts, a matcha cream donut, sausage in a blanket, scrambled egg donut, and so this feels to me like a thing in New York where like it's open for a week and everyone kind of loses their minds about it, and so everyone goes and waits in like an hour-long line to buy their overpriced donuts, and then they eat them and they're like, it's fine, I guess. And then in like 2 months, no one cares anymore.
Yeah,
I really
it
think
seems
the only reason this is probably going to stay afloat is because it's in Times Square, and it'll be a big tourist draw. I can't imagine locals going to this place on any sort of regular basis.
No. You know, when we were there in January, I sent you a couple pictures. We were just walking around Manhattan, and we walked by a donut place. I don't know if you remember this, and I took some pictures of their gargantuan donuts. Mm-hmm. And they were $5 a piece, but they were huge, and they were delicious, and they were so well made.
These donuts are like just regular ass donut size, and the very base original is still $4. Like,
yeah. Well, it's news. I don't know that it's great news, but it's news. All right, so my portion of the show is we've been doing a little quick runaround of the teams in the NHL playoffs and what cities, if you end up in any of these cities, hopefully to watch a hockey game, that would be awesome. Here are the donut stops you need to, the donut shops you need to hit. So, of course, we've covered St. Louis ad nauseum. We've covered Minnesota. We've covered Colorado. We did Ottawa. We did Montreal. And so today, because it looks like they're going to be the next team out, New Jersey Devils really, really struggling against Carolina in that series. There doesn't seem to be anything that could spark, like they're amazing at home or something like that. Yeah. So we're going to get New Jersey knocked off the list while they're still in the playoffs. All right, so if you're headed to New Jersey, try Der Cole Donuts in Northvale, New Jersey. They opened in 2017. They are tree nut and peanut free. The owner says, on a slow day, we like to try new things. I freaking love that. Instead of sitting there twiddling your thumbs or making another dozen glazed donuts, give it a whirl. I mean, as long as you're not throwing, today we're going to put Cocoa Krispies on a donut and call it a brand new donut. Here are some of their flavors. Cannoli donuts. Love that idea. Churro cheesecake donut.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. They do Samoas, which are their take on the Girl Scout cookies. It's caramel, coconut, and chocolate. Would not be a favorite because coconut is not, but I love that they give it a go. Mm-hmm. They also do a crumb cake donut, and that, to me, I can't remember the last crumb cake donut. I know when you buy them in the grocery store in the box, like Entenmann's or Hostess, they make crumb cake donuts. But I very rarely see a mom and pop shop doing a crumb cake donut.
I see crumbs on like yeast donuts and stuff, but I do not see it on a cake donut very often.
Yeah, I'll look going forward, but I am sure I've not seen one yet. There is an L&M bakery in Delran, New Jersey. Second generation owner. Son took it over from his dad, who started it in 1964.
Damn.
So 61 years of mom and pop donuts. 2 big thumbs up. All of their donuts, $1.30. So yes. Price to go in and get a dozen. They do all the standards, the glaze, the old fashioned, the crullers. Everything is made in-house, including their buttercream icing. They do not pull anything out of a bucket.
That's awesome.
So that's the way to do it, man. So congrats for being in business so long, L&M Bakery. Finally, Brown's Restaurant. They're on the boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey. It's a little bitty bungalow walk up, and they do absolutely serve food, but their little claim to fame is their almost famous donuts. They opened in 1976, and every donut is made after you order it.
Oh.
There is a conveyor belt that holds 4 donuts at a time. So they do cake donuts and old-fashioned donuts. Honey old-fashioned is the top seller.
Ooh.
Cinnamon sugar cake is number 2.
Honey old-fashioned sounds awesome.
And these are just out of the fryer. So you know the difference between a hot donut and a donut is markedly better. Long lines all the time, of course. They are allegedly so good that people get these donuts with no toppings.
Wow.
How good is a cake donut?
Yeah, that's
by itself.
That's a very good indicator that you've made a fucking incredible cake donut.
So, Brown's Restaurant in Ocean City on the boardwalk in New Jersey. So, our claim to fame here on this show is we do glazed donuts from every shop. Because if you cannot do a glazed donut well, how in the world can you do the other things?
Exactly.
This is the minimum buy-in to do donuts. So, Eric, where did you visit today? Tell me about your glazed donut.
So today, I went to Java Time Donuts. This is located at 7811 Laguna Boulevard in Elk Grove, California. About a 15-20 minute drive from Midtown Sacramento, which is where I'm located. This was a very good-looking donut shop. Like, you walk in, and there's, like, donut shapes I've never seen before. Like, they had, like, star-shaped donuts, and there was, like, purple icing, and it's like, I mean, that's cool, I guess. I mean, that all had sprinkles on it. They're very clearly meant for children. But, like, I don't know, just, like, to do a star-shaped donut on a fucking random-ass Friday, that's pretty out there. They're doing stuff. Really big variety, too, which was nice. So this glazed donut that I got, this was a pretty sizable glazed donut compared to other ones I've had. This is 4.5 inches across and almost 2 inches tall. It's a big, thick donut. This one set me back about $1.75, which is not bad by any means for donuts out here. Granted, the last time we got donuts was in, like, New Orleans and St. Louis, so it's an adjustment coming back to these kind of prices, but for Sacramento, $1.75 is not crazy. And I'm very conflicted about this glazed donut. I really liked the glaze. I liked how sweet it was. I liked that it didn't flake off, especially on a donut that big. The fact that it all stayed and melted together was really good. I just think the dough was too dense for a glazed yeast donut. I think for just a glazed donut, it's got to be lighter and fluffier, and I think this was just too thick. Granted, for the size of this thing, for how big it was, and for how thick it was, I think $1.75 is a really good price point, because this is kind of, with the donut size and with its texture, this could be a thing where you, like, maybe get that donut and a couple other things, and, like, that's your breakfast.
Okay.
So I think for its price point and for how the dough kind of was, I think it works well together. But I just think a glazed donut has to be lighter than this one was.
Okay.
So
all right.
I think I want to give this like a 3.6. I think it was a good glaze. The dough isn't where I'd like it to be, but I think given its price point, I can see why the texture of the dough and the density of it could very well be a positive for someone.
Okay. 3.6 standard glazed donut.
Yeah.
Not bad. All right, so I went to the Donut House today. They're in 8500 Morgan Ford, right where the county becomes the city. They're just off of Bayless and 55 in South County. All of their donuts are $1.49, except the specialty donuts. Get a discount at a half dozen, another bigger discount at a dozen. They are under new ownership. I've been to this donut place before on National Donut Day. And I remember the vibe was a little off. Not unwelcoming, but man, I really love a joyous vibe in a donut shop. And it didn't have it. Today it did. This was clearly the new owner. And we had actually a lovely conversation. That's not going to affect my score on the donuts. But I just thought, hey, man, there's a good guy making donuts. And I want to let everybody know about it. My glazed donut, kind of small, 4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, oblong, 1.25 inches tall. And here is my question. I need your help. Here is the half of donut, okay? Top.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom. Are you calling it glazed on the top and the bottom?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah. I think
It's
that
not
definitely
just down the sides. That is in the bottom of the middle of the donut.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the awesome part. That's that glaze is spectacular. It adds to the donut. It's not so sweet that it takes away. It's not cloying. It's not gritty. It's a smooth glaze. Top and bottom, man. Is this like maybe the third shop that we've run into that does this? Yeah. So immediately bonus points for the top and bottom. I'm getting the same kind of vibe from this glazed donut that you did. Mm-hmm. Like it might be a little too chewy, a little too dense. I love the melt in your mouth, the bite, and it just disappears. I love that. The dough by itself, without any glaze, is just okay. Mm-hmm. It's not. It doesn't have a vanilla or lemon or super moist sensation to it. Top and bottom though gives for $1.49. It gives me a 3.8. Top and bottom glazed donuts. You have gone the extra step. You get bonus points for that.
Absolutely.
So, 3.8. That's a solid glazed donut.
Mm-hmm. So our second donut we got today is a vanilla cake donut with chocolate icing. My donut was pretty small. This is definitely a donut that kind of balled up in the fryer. This can kind of happen with cake donuts. They don't always expand as much as you want them to. So there wasn't much of a hole in the middle for this one. It was 3 inches by 1.25 inches tall. Again, around $1.75. And I am super fucking impressed with this cake donut. This, I don't think I've had a better textured cake donut on this show than this donut.
Wow.
This was it was like I was eating a piece of cake. It was that textured.
Wow.
And it was super spongy, super moist, a really great vanilla flavor. And the chocolate icing, I think 100% enhances an already great tasting cake donut. It's a chocolate fudgy icing. It didn't overpower anything. It wasn't too sweet. It was a good, strong chocolate flavor on a really great vanilla flavor. The flavors meshed well, and really, just the texture of this cake donut, I think is definitely the best I've had on the show. It is exactly where I think cake donuts should always be. Super, yeah. I think I want to give this like a 4.3.
Holy cannoli!
This was, yeah. I think the size definitely takes this down a couple notches for sure. But I just loved how unassuming it was. This kind of looked like your standard, just kind of cake donut. It totally was not. The frying, or I guess not the frying because the size and stuff, but the batter that they use for these cake donuts, they've absolutely done it perfectly. So yeah, I think 4.3 is this vanilla cake.
That's a really good.
Icing.
That's fabulous. Okay, so back to the donut house owner being awesome. I asked for the chocolate iced vanilla cake, and he's like, I don't have any more. I sold out. He said, but I do have some vanilla cake plain. Can I go ice a couple for you? Yeah, way to go the extra step there, my friend. That is customer service. Mm-hmm. Dude wanted a specific donut. You didn't have it, but you tried to make it happen. You did make it happen. So that's fabulous. And I'm getting really similar vibes to your cake donut because this cake dough by itself is just excellent. It's like biting into a cake. Now, mine is a little crispy, and then soft in the middle, but not so much as to like the old-fashioned that we'll talk about in a second. Certainly not like that, but it's fried very well. This is not greasy at all. It's a light, fluffy cake. The drawback for me on this, first I will show you. So here's the other half. That's how you ice a donut right there, friends. You jam it down in the hole. The problem for me is that this chocolate icing is giving me canned icing vibes. Like if you go in the grocery store and you buy a can of Pillsbury chocolate icing or Duncan Hines chocolate icing, you can just tell immediately it's not homemade. Immediately. And so, is it bad? No. It's not gritty, but that is the flavor immediately, and Mom and Pop Donut Shop deserves a little more than a canned chocolate icing flavor. So, again, $1.49, great dough, fried very well. This is going to be a 3.2 for me today, just because if you're going to get a chocolate iced anything, that chocolate icing needs to be really excellent.
Yeah.
And this is just,
Below average.
Yeah. It's just, you can do better. We've had better. So hopefully our gentleman's watching this. He's like, yep, I need to change that chocolate icing recipe. Buy it from a different vendor, something, because, 3.2 is okay.
Yeah.
But what could have been with a great base of a great cake and dough, taken down because of the icing. So it's got to all work together.
So our last donut is a glazed old-fashioned donut. So mine, also around $1.75. I like that these are all the same price, especially for, three pretty different donuts. The fact that they're all of similar price, I think, is really good. This was a pretty sizable old-fashioned donut, at least for out here. It was 4 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches tall. It has the really great glazed flavor as the original glazed donut, and I think it's a little amped up because this old-fashioned cake flavor is also very, very good. It's almost a little buttermilk cake, like what you would find in like a buttermilk bar. I think is what they would use for this old-fashioned, which I think works really well. Now, the thing that we disagree about old-fashions is crispiness. I don't love a super crispy old-fashioned, and this was on that side. It was on the crispier side of things. So I didn't particularly love that. The glaze really did not reach as much as the bottom as it needed to. It did this thing you'll see here where there's just like nodules of glaze that just it was just droplets that didn't fully go all the way, and then they just hardened. And that's I don't love that. I'd much rather the glaze just continued to fall. So I think the thickness of the glaze was a little too much. I think if you thinned it out a little more, it'd be easier to run down the donut, especially because like this center of the donut got almost no glaze in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, again, like little droplets and stuff, but I don't think enough. But again, I think the flavor of this cake, I think, is the draw here. I do like it a little bit better than just the glazed donut. So I think I want to give this like a 3.7.
Okay.
I think the size of this is really good, and the flavor of it is really good. Honestly, I think if you just thin out the glaze a little bit, I think this is well on its way to being like a really, really excellent donut. I just think, for especially how the crown is, having a thick glaze just kind of sit in that like crevice,
Yes.
can be a little too much. So I think thinning out the glaze, this is well on its way to being like a top tier old fashioned.
Okay. All right. My old fashioned, similar to the cake in that the dough is excellent. Again, just the dough by itself is a great bite of cake. The glaze is done really well. It's not too heavy. It fills in the crevices, but doesn't float away. It's fried really well, soft on the inside, crispy on the outside. It's got a good contrast. If it was the same everywhere, then I think it would fail as an old fashioned. You got to crisp it. You got to soft it. That's what they did here at the donut house. Mm-hmm. That's a really good donut. $1.49. That's how you do an old fashioned. Is it the best one I've ever had? Nope. But damn, it's a really good one. Mm-hmm. This is my 4.0 for the day. This is the donut.
That's a solid score.
If you're heading into the donut house and you get old fashioned, you will be thrilled because that's a really good donut. So, overall, a little better for you today?
I think so, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. That vanilla cake donut, I think that's something if you go to Java Time Donuts, that's a donut you've got to get. And not even the exact one I got. I think that vanilla cake itself, because they offered just plain vanilla cake donuts I saw in that case, which is not something I see a lot of donut shops do. So they know at the very least, like they've got something with this. So I think that should have been a pretty good indicator that this vanilla cake donut was going to be pretty good.
We believe in what we're doing.
Yes. Yeah.
So
they know
similar to that. Good. Similar to that boardwalk in New Jersey. Yes. The donut is so good, it needs no topping. Mm-hmm. So, great on the cake dough. All right, so we normally wrap up our shows, a little bit of trivia time. Dun, 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 dun. You're kind of on a roll, buddy.
I am.
You may be like 6 out of your last 7 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I think part of it, I think, is your love of movies.
Yes.
Gives you a nice background. So we're gonna hit that. We're gonna hit the well.
All right.
2 times today.
Well, now you've set me up to fail. Saying how good I've been and I know stuff. So now I'm gonna go over.
This was the 3rd movie in a series. It came out in 2002. It's a comedy. Ice Cube, Mike Epps, Cat Williams, and Terry Crews. A lot of the action in this movie took place in the Holy Moly Donut Shop. What was the name of this 2002 Ice Cube comedy? 3rd in a series.
I want to say, is it like one of the Are We There Yets?
No.
Fuck. I've got no idea, dude.
This movie is Friday After Next.
Ah, damn it. I didn't know there were sequels to Friday. I thought it was just Friday and that was it.
There was Friday, then there was Next Friday, and then there was Friday After Next.
Damn it. My head went to Friday,
Okay.
but I didn't think there were any movies that came after it.
Yes. All right. Here's your chance for redemption. Tom Hanks is a Southern gentleman in this 2004 comedy/crime flick from the Coen brothers. Their criminal gang tries to rob the Hi-Ho donut shop, but the owners end up beating them up and chasing them out. What 2004 movie starring Tom Hanks was the donut robbery scene part of?
I have zero fucking idea for this. I've never heard of this in my life.
The Lady Killers.
Yeah, I would have never got. I've never heard of that movie in my entire life.
Tom Hanks looks like Colonel Sanders.
I mean, I can
With
see
both
him
long
in, like,
tie
Colonel Sanders
and the little
like,
bitty.
I can see him looking like that, but
Yes.
that's just I think
Yeah.
an image I can create in my own mind. I don't think it's based off of anything.
Yeah, so it did pretty well. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes and audiences and money. So, yeah, really, honestly, name every bad Tom Hanks movie he's ever been in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, Lady Killers is one to put on your list, and it's very funny. The two guys trying to rob the donut shop, and the donut owners just kick their ass and send them on their way. All right, so that wraps up show number 30 of the Midwest Donut Review. Eric, how can people join this frivolity?
If you are watching on YouTube right now, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications for it so you never miss an upload. You can comment on this video, telling us whatever you want, donut shops you want us to see or taste, donut shops you don't want us to go to, anything like that. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, following the show, rating and reviewing the show, we see all that. And our Instagram page, we post pictures of the donuts, full quality pictures of the donuts before we've torn into them. And we'll also post anytime a new video podcast is uploaded, commenting on that. We see it all. But really the best way to do it is wherever you're watching or listening, is just sharing it on whatever social media platform you desire. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Okay, because as much as we bring to the show, we'd certainly like a little bit of direction. Somebody who says, Eric, I just found the best apple fritter in my life, and you need to go to blah, blah, and check it out. And we will.
Yes.
So let us know. We are open to suggestions all the time, and that'll wrap up show number 30 of the Midwest Donut Review. I'm Dave in St. Louis. That's Eric in Sacramento. Appreciate you guys taking the time to join us again, and we will see you very soon with a new show. Thanks, everybody.
Goodbye.